तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा. Narendra said to him that he had been reading a book by Hamilton, who wrote, "A learned ignorance is the end of philosophy and the beginning of religion." End of the learned ignorance is the end of philosophy and beginning of religion. After learning everything, all scriptures and philosophies, we come to know we have not understood anything, because it belongs to a realm into which we have never entered and will never be able to enter so easily. And we see it is just like a blind person whom I want to make him understand what is light, what is color, what is sea, which he has never done. Suppose I see a person coming, he doesn't know what is sea. If I say light is everywhere, he will not be able to understand what is meant by everywhere, how far is that everywhere, what type of everywhere. He cannot understand. He cannot understand the distance. He cannot know what is sky. You are standing on earth, that's all. I can stretch my hand, I can hear some sound. That's all is the world of the blind. And he can never know what is. I cannot make him understand what is light. Similarly, all philosophies, Shad Darshane Na Pai Darshan, Sri Ramakrishna used to sing a song. All the 6 philosophies of Indian which deal only with the spiritual identities, spiritual things, fail to give the understanding. So many books are there on light. What is light? Reflection, this, that, so many. But for blind, it is nothing. You read everything to him, tell about it, he can never know what it is. Same thing with us, because we have no instrument to enter the transcendental realm. When all instruments we drop, through which we are interacting, then perhaps we'll be able to enter. No, the reality which is beyond the senses, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. Because these are the instruments through which I can perceive only the external world limited by time and space. That world is beyond time and space, inaccessible to mind even, inaccessible to intellect also. Now I can never see what is a software in a computer. Nobody can show me what is software. Yet my intellect can grasp what it is. I can design one also, a software. So it is accessible to intellect. But the transcendental realm, which is beyond mind, beyond senses, beyond intellect, can never be reached by any means. Only thing is, drop away from the external most bodily existence to all layers that you are covering with, all the instruments you are using to see the external world. Then shines the light within. By its own glory, by its own right, it shines forth. That gives us the reality. What we call the reality is with realization. We realize, what am I? What really am I? What really I was identifying with the body, lives after lives. Who am I? Now he understands, oh, all those were covers I was wearing. I am an independent existence which is bliss absolute. Ananda Sagara. I am that, I am that. The knowledge comes at that time, I am that, I am that. So, here the philosophy, the learned ignorance is the end of philosophy. When a person learns everything and knows, he cannot stretch himself beyond, even let alone the spiritual realizations. Even we cannot do any change in this universe or in our fate. The birth, the death, the sukha dukkha that I am going to experience, I may make so many plans and arrangements, but if nature doesn't give, I look at the others and try to imitate. I try to do so many things. I have seen so many people with all efforts, they could not come up in their life. Very intelligence, unimaginable dimension. Similarly, a beggar in the street, there are people who are raised to the highest level of possessions and prosperity. All things. A king overnight becomes a beggar in the street. A beggar in the street becomes a king. It can't. Nature does everything. And how are we going to get the joys and sorrows of life? Inevitable. Because of the karmic load we are carrying and the actions we have done, we have to reap its fruit. All good things I have done in my lives will give me definitely sukha, the joys of life. Similarly, whatever bad I have done in my life, all that is going to give me suffering. Spiritual life stands beyond good and bad. Good and bad is within the cycle of karma. Spiritual practices or spiritual life is beyond the law of karma, and it is going to eliminate karma from us. It is going to give freedom from the karmic cycle forever, and then we enter the transcendental realm. Now we see the end of philosophy is beginning of religion. Similarly, where religion ends, we begin the spirituality. Religion is always associated with the moral perfection, and so many rituals and this and that to train the mind, to train the heart, to train all aspects of our existence to reach the tuning with nature and God. This is where the religion ends. But realization does not come even after following religion in its essence and word and letter. We follow it. No. We must enter into the spiritual life. Religious life, dharmika jivana, and adhyatmika jivana, spiritual life. Spiritual life is where we transcend all the rituals, all the Vinayakananda says, the man is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this inner divinity by controlling nature external and nature internal. This is whole of religion. The rest, whatever, whether you do it through work or a worship or sense control or through philosophy, it is immaterial. This is take up anything and finish that task. Then he says the forms, temples, rituals, books, all these are secondary. These are just scaffoldings by which we try to increase our capacity and make us ourselves a patra to receive that grace of God, to climb to the higher levels of consciousness. Religion helps us not to fall in the world, fall back from good to bad, bad to worse. We are not going to fall down. We may not reach the ultimate goal, but immediate goal of saving ourselves from the worldly temptations, we will be able to succeed through religion. We will be able to reach the moral perfection. When we get this moral perfection, then we climb to, that is, I am able to, moral perfection makes me capable of tuning myself to the nature and God. Otherwise I cannot tune myself. I am attached to the world, I am sinking in the world, I am seeking the enjoyments of the world. I cannot stretch myself to be one with God. So this moral perfection makes me slowly climb to that level that I can tune myself to the divine. The devotion to God, devotion to my work and activities, perfection in life. Whatever I do, I must do with absolute perfection, all care. This perfection comes in life. Devotion, dedication comes in life. Sincerity comes in life. These are the fundamental needs of spiritual life. Devotion, dedication, sincerity, and perfection. These four make us slowly evolve to a new dimension within myself. I find the inner peace, I find the inner stillness, I find the inner bliss. From there we enter within to open the 10th door to perfection. So this is what we see. He is telling, so where philosophy ends, the religion begins. Where religion ends, spirituality begins. Spiritually ends with realization. Master, what does that mean? Naren is telling in English to M. Both are learned people and educated people. Sri Ramakrishna is not able to understand the language. What does that mean? He is asking Sri Ramakrishna. Narendra explained the sentence in Bengali. The master beamed with joy and said in English, "Thank you, thank you." A few sets of phrases he has heard and learned of English, and that he is to use. Everyone laughed at the charming way he said these words. They knew that his English vocabulary consisted of only half a dozen of words. It was almost dusk when most of the devotees, including Narendra, took leave of the master. It was almost dusk when most of the devotees, including Narendra, took leave of the master. Sri Ramakrishna went out and looked at the Ganges for a few minutes from the west porch. Two priests were bathing in preparation for the evening worship. Young men of the village were strolling in the garden or standing on the concrete embankment gazing at the murmuring river, because in those days electricity like what we have today was not there. We struggle when we don't have electricity, but those blessed days when electricity was not there has disappeared. When the evening comes, every house in the front one small lamp will be burning, oil lamp, either of kerosene or the seeds of plants from which the oil is taken. And inside the house, one or two lamps will be burning, dim, beautiful light. And this is how, wherever you have to go, you have to carry a lamp, hanging lamp in your, or a lantern in your hand and walk. And with that light, you have to manage the whole show, the night. And most of the, because oil extraction, oil cost, oil making, all this is little expensive. The poor people of very old age, earlier, they used to put off all the lights. And so, in the evening, they will again light from one or two splinters that lie in the oven. From there, small leaves, dry leaves, these that they put and start blowing it. It lights up. Daytime we need for cooking fire. That fire after cooking is left as it is. Night slowly it subsides. Inside there will be small splinters with which we again light the, and with that the evening lamp is lit on most of the houses. So how Dakshineshwar must have looked after the dusk. They have to go back, how even in vehicles, that is horse carriages, there used to be lamps on either side. It is oil lamp or kerosene lamp. And in our childhood days also, we have used kerosene lamp for our cycles. It was a wonderful thing to see small lamps burning and moving in the street. Then cycle had the dynamo little later. By the time we could go to the college days, dynamo has come. Here and there, light started appearing. So, how the world would look like if there is no electricity is unimaginable to think. Beautiful sunsets everywhere. Every child and old man is charmed at the nature, at the dawn and dusk. The bird starts chirping in the morning. When it is evening, all birds going back. They all start shouting at a time, sitting on the trees. So nice. Now we are missing all that. Only television is there, false things being projected, and we get mesmerized by that. To be one with nature is the way by which we transcend our inner defects, imperfections, impurities. To be one with nature is to be one with all beings. All beings are part of nature. And with nature means I love everyone. I love every being and add to the devatas, all things. I am in tune with them. I can easily understand what God is. I can easily understand. I may not see, I may not be able to perceive or interact, but I can understand at least. Oh, this is the glory of God. How the sun rises, how the day comes, how the day ends. In every bit, in our own houses, we used to grow the vegetables. The way in which, once the crop is over, when the next row is burrowed and we put the seeds, we're watching. After 3-4 days, we see a green line emerging out. And how they expand. Every sight reminds of God. Everything, watering those things, will keep in a proper slope that we leave one place, it goes on watering all the places, all the plants. It is kept in such a beautiful way. I have to stand in one place and leave water. And that water comes from most of the places, it is from the well. We keep seesaw by which the water is pumped out through the seesaw. Those were the, what I am trying to tell is, the more you are one with nature, more you love, more you are in tune with nature, more you are divine, and more you'll be able to understand God. Every day, in some way or other, in spite of all this modernity, you must be able to feel the divine. In spite of all things dragging you out of your own inner nature, still, by force, you have to see that you are in touch with the divine, you are in touch with the truth. Day by day, slowly, your intensity, your area of operation of spiritual life must expand to the extent it slowly covers your day-to-day life in this world and goes beyond to reach the ideal. Young men of the village were strolling in the garden or standing on the concrete embankment, gazing at the murmuring river. Others, perhaps more thoughtful, were walking about in the solitude of the Panchavati. Panchavati was a place where Sri Ramakrishna did most of his spiritual practices and things like meditation, practice of samadhi. A little behind is the one small kutia, even now, a small hut where she practiced the Advaitic spiritual dimensions he entered with the help of Totapuri and adapt in Advaitic realizations. It became dark. The maidservant lighted the lamp in Sri Ramakrishna's room and burnt incense. This burning incense also, even now in Belur Math and most of the houses also in Bengal and many of the places, this tradition is kept evening, as soon as it is evening, in front of Tulsi or in front of the house or somewhere, we keep a lamp burning and put incense, a powder, gum powder. It's actually they call it benzoin, and we put on the fire and take around to smoke the whole thing. It is one side it's fragrance, other side is it removes the bad odor and kills many of the small bacteria and other things. You see the houses, now we are in the coastal region of evergreen forest area. Few days continuous rain. Now a month is over. The inside the house, the rooms, it becomes totally black because of the fungus. And those houses where people are living is not there. Where fire is going on, where cooking is going on, a lamp is burning, it is not there. Just a lamp burning, small lamp burning. It is, the fungus does not come. So, otherwise, pitch dark within a rainy season, inside the house, roof becomes black. Imagine a small lamp burning. How this incense, most of the houses here, they use firewood. Village atmosphere, firewood is cooking. So there won't be infections. It became dark, maid servant lighted the lamp, and in Sri Ramakrishna's room burnt incense. And for Sri Ramakrishna, it used to take him to the immediately, it would disconnect him from the external world, the smell of incense. The evening worship began in the 12 temples of Shiva and in the shrine of Krishna and Kali. As it was the first day after the full moon, the moonlight soon flooded the tops of the trees and temples and touched with silver the numberless waves of the sacred river. A moonlit night, moonlight, when I was in Himalayas, the most beautiful sights, because this artificial lighting is not there. Wherever it is not there, the moonlit nights, both during my tapasya period and later on, when I was in Himalayas, I saw the moonlit light when we come out by about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Whole thing, especially full moon day, the whole thing is covered. After the rainy season, Sharad Purnima and all, moon is so clear, no patches of cloud in the sky, blue sky, and this moonlit night. Fine, cool breeze will be blowing, no light anywhere. The whole thing is flooded. All the trees and vegetation, hills and top of the mountains are clad with silver as if they have put a crown on their heads. And whole greenery is shining, every leaf is shining, reflecting the moonlight. And it used to look like a dream world. So, dream world. I've entered into some state, some place, some dimension where this world is missing, a new world is standing. So these things, how M is making us go back to those days when Sri Ramakrishna was there and how it looked like. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.